Hey guys, welcome back to Joy Brush. Spring is here and I can't wait to show you how to paint the queen. Can you make a guess? I'm talking about the queen of all flowers, and that is the peony. So peony is one of my favorite flowers to paint. It comes in a variety of colors, such as red, white, purple, and yellow. The flowers are really big and graceful, and I'm sure you've seen this flower a lot in my art shows. I've painted the peony on both rice paper and on canvas. So today we're gonna take a look at how to paint the peony. Alright, let's take a look at the brushes we're gonna be using today. So we're going to be using an extra size Baiyun goat hair brush to paint the flower petals. And for the branches, we'll be using Shanmabi wild horse hairbrush. For some of the texturing and details, we're going to be using the large size calligraphy brush, which is also a hard hair brush. 大写意. For the details, very small details, we'll be using 大描笔. And there's a fun brush I want to introduce you to today. Is this one. We'll be using this brush to do some of the wet on wet effect. This is a goat hair brush. It's called 大排笔. So these are all the brushes we'll be using today. Alright guys, let's paint. So first of all, I want you to get your 排笔. I want you to wet your brush in water. And I want you to brush lightly on your paper. This is where we're gonna paint our flower. We want to lightly wet the paper. And the next brush I want you to get is your 大白云 extra large goat hair soft hair brush. Let's get some colors. We're going to use 藤黄 yellow. That's our first layer. And the next color I want you to get is this light green color. So again, I'm building a gradient on my brush, just like the other tutorials. So here you see the gradient. We have water, yellow, and green. So I want you to push your brush down from the tip of your brush and make a circle. Gradually push down your brush and turn your brush around. Make a circle. And the next color we're gonna get, we're gonna get this beautiful red just on the tip of your brush. Again, we have a gradient. We have the water and the red. So we're gonna do the same thing like what we did just now with the yellow. So we're gonna go somewhere around here, and I want you to turn your brush. Notice I'm using side brush stroke. I'm pushing my brush down. I'm going around and making a circle. Alright, here's our base color. And let's start to paint our petals. So for the petal, I want you to get this titanium white. It's a thicker color. I want you to get it to somewhere around here in the middle of your brush. Again, we want to leave some water content on our brush. And the tip of your brush, I want you to get an extra coat of white. So notice here is very thick, and then we have a thinner coat of white, and then we have a water content. So we're going to paint our petals somewhere around here, around the circles. So I'm going to push down my brush. So we are getting those thicker coats of color out from our brush. And then push it down. So when you push it down, the white kind of melts into this base color. Let's do another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm gonna get more white. Again, just on the tip of the brush, I want to have a thicker coat of white. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna paint from the tip of the brush and kind of just push it down. Let it melt into the base color. Get some more on just the tip of the brush. All right, and some petals are kind of random. Smaller. You don't want them to be the same. Some are smaller, some are bigger. Some are lighter, and some are thicker. So push your brush down and lift it up. One more time. Push your brush down, lift it up. And just have fun. Doesn't have to be the same. In fact, you don't want them to be the same. All right. Some of them are thicker in paint. Some of them are lighter. I'm going to gradually create the outer layer. It always helps when you take a look at the actual flower. You can also put it in front of you and see how the petals grow. Alright, I'm gonna paint some of the outer layer now. So the outer layer I want to paint from the outside and then go in. So again, I'm using a side brush stroke, not 中锋, not like this. You want it to be pushing down like this, side brush stroke. Push it down, and we see some water content. So on the side, I want to add on a little thicker paint to give it kind of the 3D rolling effect of a petal. Alright, one more time. They don't have to be the same. Some are smaller, some are bigger. Push it down, lift it up. Push it down, lift it up. And give it some thicker paint on the side to emphasize the 3D effect on the petal. Alright. Let's also think of the shape of the flower. I think I'm gonna add on to here. It's kind of like a ball shape. Somewhere around here. Alright, we are almost done with the petals. Notice my paper is white, and without the first layer, we won't be able to see white paint on white paper. So the first base layer is kind of important. I'm gonna add a few more leaves here. I'm just thinking of the shape of the flower. Alright. You can also use a smaller brush to do some details. Get some white and add on some details. Alright, let's take a look at how to paint the center. I want you to get your calligraphy brush. We're going to dip our calligraphy brush in light green first. And then we're going to add on a little bit of darker green on just the tip of the brush to build up our gradient. Okay, so now we have a gradient of light green and dark green. I want you to push your brush down from the tip. Push it down, 1, and the other side. Push it down, 2. And let's get our white out. We're gonna do a little more detail around here. Use just the tip of your brush. I'm just kind of drawing out some little lines. You don't want them to be straight, you want it to kind of curl around the center. And while this part is still wet, I want you to get this color out. 石绿. This is a beautiful light green color. Number 245 by Swan Brand. And we're gonna paint on top of the center, just like what you did Alright. Let's get a piece of rice paper up, and I want you to lightly tap away the bottom of this color. So now it kind of melts from the first layer, the top layer, to the second layer. The next thing we're gonna do some more detail. So I'm gonna get my yellow. And a little bit of orange. I'm gonna do some detail around here. Okay, let's paint in some leaves. So we're gonna have some young leaves growing out around the flower, and then we're gonna have some older leaves. So for the younger leaves, we're gonna get a light green, a little bit of orange, and a little bit of red on just the tip of the brush. So I want the leaf to grow out from the flower. So if you don't have enough color on your brush, you want to load more color. So again, it's the light green, the orange, and the red. So for the leaf, let me show you how to paint the leaf. You could turn the paper to the angle that you feel comfortable with. So I want it to come out from the flower. So 1, 2, lift it up, 3. One more time. 1, 2, push down your brush and lift it up. And they don't have to be the same. Some are smaller, some are bigger. 1, 2. Alright. And for the bigger leaves, we're gonna get a bigger brush. I'm gonna get my Shanmabi out. Wild horsehair brush. I'm gonna get some Huaqing, the deep blue color. If your brush is too dry, you want to get more water. And on the tip of my Shanmabi, I want to get a hint of ink just on the tip. So now we have a gradient of water, deep blue, and black ink. So again, I turned my paper to the desired angle. I'm gonna start painting some of the older leaves. The same shape. So 1, 2, 3. You want to connect them. I'm gonna get a little more ink. Let's take a look at how to paint the leaves. The younger leaves, the older leaves, the stem, and the branches of our flower. So first of all, I want you to get your plate out. We're gonna mix water to our ink, dilute it into a lighter shade ink. And the brush I'm using right now to do our branches is Shanmabi, wild horse hair brush. This is a hard hair brush. We're gonna use this brush to create the texture on our branch. So you wanna tap away extra water on your brush. The reason why is because you need to be doing a dry branch. We want this texture. We want to see the highlighted texture on our tree branch. If you think this ink is too light, you could always mix in a hint of black ink, make it darker. And I want you to spread your brush like this. You could either spread it on a piece of rice paper, or you could spread it with your finger, whatever you feel comfortable with. And on top of our light ink, we're gonna build a gradient again. So just on the tip of your brush, I want you to get a little bit of black ink. So now I have this beautiful gradient, different shades of ink. I'm gonna start painting the branch. So you need to use 中分 center brush stroke. Notice I'm not holding it like this. It's not a side brush. We don't want to push down the brush like this. We want to hold it center, 中分. If you want to learn more about basic brush stroke, I do have a tutorial for you. Please go to the main page, Joy Brush channel, and check it out. So now let's use 中分. So I want you to, just like calligraphy, push down your brush a little to begin with and lift it up, push it down again to create your branch. And some part you might want to do it slightly faster to give it a expressive brush stroke. Also, you want to have some dryness on your brush. Okay, I'm gonna create some little branch. I'm using the just the side, this part of my brush. I'm getting some dark ink to create some more little branch, but this one is even more dry. Give it a little bit of texture. I'm also going to paint a young branch behind this branch. And since it's a distance away from this main branch, I'm going to use a light ink. Okay, so here's our branch. Let's take a look at how to paint the stem. For the stem, I want you to get your large calligraphy brush. This is a hardhair brush. We're gonna get some green, light green color. You can also make a gradient, get some darker green. And on top, on the tip of your brush, I want you to get some orange. And a hint of red. Alright, so now we have our gradient. We're gonna take a look at how to do the stem. I think the flower will come out somewhere around here. So the stem will connect the flower to the main branch. So what I'm gonna do is, since you've seen me do the flower already, we're gonna just paint out the stem. So I'm gonna start from here. This is where it connects to the flower. Alright, and we want it to connect to the main branch, so we're just going to do one stroke, one continuous stroke. Just think about how you want it to connect. Picture it before you paint, because again, we don't really have an eraser. So use 中分 center brush stroke and just one stroke down. So here where it connects, I want you to get some more orange, a little bit of red. We're going to make a connection here. Maybe some young leaves are coming out. And for the branch, it's almost dried now. We're gonna add a little hint of spring. I want you to get your brush wet. Get a thin layer of 石绿. This is a gorgeous color. It's a light green color. We're gonna kind of paint on the highlighted area, on the highlight. Just give it a hint of green, not much, just a hint. I'm gonna get some more of this 石绿. I'm gonna tap it around the darker part of my branch. I also have a little sprout coming out from the branch because spring is here. All the new leaves are popping out from our branch. It's a really wonderful season to paint flower. You could really go to your yard, go to a garden, go to a park, or even go hiking and really admire nature and capture it on your paper. Okay, so let's do our leaves. For the older leaf, I want you to get your 山麻笔. Let's get some 花青, deep blue color. The next color we're gonna get is black ink, only on the tip of the brush. So here we have our gradient. Okay, so I'm gonna add on some leaves around here. So 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Push down your brush. Maybe a little leaf around here. I'm gonna get some more 花青, deep blue color. A little bit of ink on the tip of my brush. I'll do some more here just to show you. Maybe some more leaves here. So one more time. 1, push down your brush. 2, 3. One more time. Feel free to turn your paper to an angle that you feel comfortable with. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm gonna also get some lighter color. I'm just gonna get the 花青 and just a tiny bit of ink this time. So 1, 2, 3. We want to see a variety, all different color, different shades. And some leaves are smaller, some leaves are bigger. Okay, so right now it's still really wet. I'm gonna wait before I add on the texture on the leaf. So let's do our younger leaves now. To do our young leaves, I want you to get your 大写意 large calligraphy brush. We're gonna get a light green, a dark green, a little bit of 猪标 orange on the tip of the brush, and a little bit of red also on the tip of the brush. So let's do the same, but these young leaves are much smaller, so I'm just gonna do it somewhere around here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes they grow around the flower as well. So 1, 2, 3. 1, push down your brush. 2, lift up your brush. 3. Maybe one around here. 1, 2, 3. So push down your brush gradually, and then go over here. Push it down again. And then right around here, lift it up. That's how you do a leaf. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it might not be the best composition right now because I just want to show you how to do the leaves. Okay, our larger leaves are definitely more dried now. I'm gonna get the same brush, 大写意, dip it in black ink, and we're gonna get some of the patterns on the leaves. So let's try this one. So use 中锋, it's fairly thin. It's almost like drawing out a line, a curvy line. Okay, let's do one more. Maybe this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's try this leaf. So 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. And notice some of them you can't really see it anymore because the ink is so black, so dark, and that's okay. Because again, we want to have a variety. So this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. And some of them you could just have a little dot, just hint. Just give it a hint. Doesn't have to be perfect and the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And for the younger leaves, we're gonna get a different color. We're gonna get our 猪标 orange color. A little bit of red. And a hint of black ink on the tip of the brush. Just a hint. Okay, so let's do the same. Use 中锋 center brush stroke. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me show you on these young leaves. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and some of the little leaves, I'm just gonna add a dot as a hint. All right, and some of the leaves has already turned yellow. So I'm gonna have a hint of yellow on some of the older leaves. I want you to get your Swan brand yellow out. If you don't have this brand, that's fine. Just make sure you get a thick coat of watercolor yellow, or poster color will do. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of drip ink. So my brush is fairly wet, and I'm just gonna drip it out. Drip it out. While you drip it out, you want to drip it at the right location, and this might take a little bit of practice. Might take a little bit of practice. All right. I'm also gonna add, for my final painting, a hint of green, indicating rain is here. Again, I'm gonna do a little bit of pommeau. This is really fun to do. Definitely try it out. All right. Take a look at these paintings I've painted 2 years ago. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll see you next time on Joy Brush. Until then.